For many fantasy football players, August is one of the best months of the year. Fall is slowly approaching, preseason is ending, rosters are being finalized, and you're paying your dues to your league manager. Fantasy football is back, and that means one of the best days of the year, draft day, is too. However, the best way to get the full fantasy football experience isn't through a traditional snake draft, it's through an auction draft. In this video, we will go over what an auction draft is, the pros and cons, and why it's better than your traditional snake draft. So, what is an auction draft? An auction draft works like this. Each person in your league gets a budget. Typically, that budget is $200. The first person will decide a player to nominate for auction, and they will decide what the starting bid amount will be. The clock will count down. In a typical auction style format, everyone will be able to place their bids before the clock expires. At the end, the person with the highest bid gets that player. Now let's go over some of the pros and cons, starting with the pros. Fairness. The main reason people love auction drafts is because you get a chance to get any player you want. Unlike a normal snake draft, if you want a top 3 player, you would need a top 3 pick. The next pro is that they're more engaging. Because you have a chance to bid on every player, you don't have to wait until your next pick like a traditional snake draft. You also want to be paying attention at all times because you want the best value picks, because value is the number one key when it comes to successful auction drafts. The next pro is that they are different. In auction drafts, there are many factors such as strategy, psychology, prediction, budgeting, timing, and much more when compared to your traditional snake draft. Now on to some of the cons of auction drafts. Starting with time. Auction drafts are notorious for taking a very long time, especially competitive ones, with some taking up to double the length of a traditional snake draft. The next con is that casuals or beginners will struggle. Because auction drafts reward people with experience, preparation, and strategy, people who are new to fantasy football may not find it fun. The final con is no auto drafters. Having an auto drafter in an auction draft ruins everything, as the CPU is programmed to make sure no one gets any value players except for them. While they may not be a huge deal in a snake draft, in an auction draft they are extremely powerful. Now let's go over why auction drafts are superior to traditional snake drafts. The main reason being that there are endless possibilities. For example, if you really wanted Chase, Neighbors, and Gibbs, you could realistically get them all on your roster. However, you won't need to make a trade-off when building the rest of your roster because you won't have that much money left over. It's possibilities like these that you just can't get in a typical snake draft. The next big thing you can do, a lot easier in an auction draft, is being able to affect what players your league mates end up with. You can make sure that no one else in your league gets players for too cheap of a price, and you can even increase bids to make sure they overspend. In auction drafts, your number one objective is getting good players for good prices. Your second objective is making your league mates overpay for overvalued players. The next reason auction draft is superior is because it rewards effort. The people who typically dominate an auction draft are the ones who spend time researching, studying, preparing, and executing their strategy. Preparation is key in an auction draft. If you want a good draft, you need to prepare. Auction drafts are the best way to get the full fantasy football experience. Draft days are better when you know you have endless possibilities and opportunity to create the roster you deserve. If you want to learn more in depth about all the different intricacies and strategies when it comes to auction drafts and fantasy football, make sure to check out the channel. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Until the next time, peace.